working together is gonna be legend. Wait for it.
Greetings. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Zero Life, a weekly talk show where Barrett and I get together and talk about things. Low energy.
Yar! What's up, everybody? It's Barrett the Pirate.
For the audio listeners, Barrett has lost his mind.
Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum, motherfuckers.
All right. This doesn't make you any more of a pirate. You still didn't leave your house this weekend.
That's true.
It's not
that's
very
true.
pirate-like of you. I know you love being out in the good old outdoors, but for the audio listeners, a man who hasn't left his house since 2001, who thinks he's a pirate, put an eye patch on him,
Yark.
pulled out some Kraken.
Yeah.
Because that's
Kraken
definitely...
black spiced rum. Now, I drank this about a day ago. I'm not going to say why, but let me tell you. It makes you weak at the knees, man. It's just like, it just kicks your ass, and it just doesn't forgive. It's just like it tells you while you sip it, you're a piece of shit, and every reason why you're a piece of shit, and then you just feel bad for the rest of your life.
This is weird. All right. I like how you put the eye patch on now. I know you had to wait. You probably wanted to do
I wanted to
this bit.
surprise you, yeah.
You probably wanted to do this bit for a while, but you were deaf the other couple of months, and then you didn't want to have one eye and not be able to hear.
No, because I was originally going to do this bit last week, but then I knew Alyssa had these eye patches, but she forgot to find them last week, so we had to delay it to this week. So there you go.
Big bit. Got a huge laugh. Especially for the audio listeners.
Yeah, exactly. It's great audio content.
So this is a weekly talk show where we talk about whatever we want, nerd culture related. I'm Sean. To the right of me in the eye patch and the fish shirt is Barrett Courtney. You can follow him on
I didn't
Twitter.
even know. I just realized this was a fish shirt.
Parrot.
Punandler. I'm trying to think of something.
This has gotten so far off the rails, I don't even know. All right. So big things happened this week.
Yeah.
The social... So, like, the embargo hasn't lifted on Wonder Woman, but you can have social impressions, but you can't put a score on it, which is a little weird. I've never heard of that.
Didn't that happen for another movie though? It was like Star Wars. I feel like The Force Awakens was similar, where it was people were like allowed to say on social media how they felt, but then they weren't allowed to officially review it.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a thing. I've just never heard of it. I guess I've never been paying attention. I didn't care about the Star Wars review. I knew I was going to see it and like it. Unlike Rogue One.
Damn.
Hey, I'm just speaking the truth. It's not my fault.
Early Wonder Woman impressions have gone up, and they're looking pretty good, which is surprising because, we've talked about it on the show a couple of times before. There's rumblings throughout, a bunch of people saying that Wonder Woman wasn't looking good either, and so it's quite a nice surprise that people got out of early screenings and were like, hey, this is actually pretty good.
You know what else that happened with? Batman v Superman.
It also happened with Star Wars: The Phantom Menace.
It also happened with Man of Steel. I remember people coming out and genuinely being excited for Batman v Superman. Like, I know people who were like, yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And the WB were like, yeah, it got a standing ovation. And I was like...
Yeah, Jesus. And then also, I remember I was telling you this story the other day where... For the anticipation of Batman v Superman, I watched Man of Steel for the first time since theaters, and I only saw it once in theaters, and I fell asleep, and so it was the first time in 3 years I'm going to watch this movie, and I was like lowering my expectations. I was like, okay, let's just see it for what it is, and then I somehow hated it even more on the second viewing with all of those lowered expectations. I was just like, it was way worse than I remember it being.
I got shit on Twitter recently this week for saying that Man of Steel was a bad movie.
I mean, it is. It really is.
I thought it was too.
It's awful.
The movie spends way too much time on Krypton, way too much time with him not being Superman, and then he's Superman and he's boring. Yep. He's like It's like the most bummed out Superman of all time. He almost smiles the first time he flies.
Yeah, almost.
And that's like pretty much
and
it.
And it's fun. It would have been fine if he wasn't Superman for most of the movie, but like we saw, like the entirety of the movie was like him slowly learning how to become Superman and stuff, and we barely really saw that. It was just like,
I liked the X-ray scene where he has like his X-ray vision and then it scares him. But like,
yeah.
it's just dumb. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. His dad dies. He like watches his dad die and
Yeah.
doesn't save him.
Yeah, that
Makes
was
it
really
reveal
dumb.
his secret. That's
Yeah.
stupid. And like, Lois Lane and his relationship make fucking virtually no sense in that
Amy
movie.
Adams is really bad in both of those movies.
So I don't know. People, if you like that movie, more power to you. I think that movie is a straight up dumpster fire. Like,
Yeah.
when I shit you not, when I say that movie is a 3 out of 10, I'm being very, very, very generous in my opinion. I think that movie is absolute garbage.
Yeah.
I like Batman v Superman infinitely more.
So what do you think about, like, so I remember one of the rumors that was going around about Wonder Woman was that Chris
Pine is the best part of it.
Yeah, like Chris Pine was more likable than her. So do we think that they might have heard that and like from early test screenings and stuff, and then like they possibly fixed that or something?
I don't know how you'd fix that. I mean,
Yeah.
the movie was shot, and no matter any way you edit it, I don't know how you can fix that.
Yeah.
Chris Pine's crazy likable.
Yeah,
Like,
I really
he's
like him.
likable in every movie that he's in.
I'm trying to think of anything else besides Star Trek though.
He was in that spy movie with Tom Hardy.
Oh, it was like
And
a
he was-
comedy
yeah,
thing.
he was really
right?
likable in
I
that,
did.
though.
I never watched that, but I remember seeing trailers and thought this looks awful.
I liked it.
Okay.
A romantic comedy?
It's a
Yeah,
rom-
it was like
it's
a
rom-com.
rom-com.
This is war.
This is War.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
that's
you go.
it. That's a great movie. Oh, not great. It's a rom-com, so it can't be a great movie. It's a fine movie.
There's got to be one great rom-com out there, you know? There's got to be like
50 First Dates.
We just watched him in Hell or High Water.
Oh yeah, he was in Hell or High Water. He's awesome in Hell or High Water.
He's a really likable guy.
Yeah.
That being said, Gal Gadot,
Gal Gadot.
I thought it was Gadot. I've
Gadot.
always said Godot, and then I've been corrected.
See, I've only heard Gadot. I don't know who corrected you on Gadot.
Tim
but-
Geddes.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he's corrected somebody.
But I also feel like he might be fucking with you. Who knows?
Gal Gadot. I'm gonna open another Crystal Geyser.
We are not sponsored by Crystal Geyser. Just want to let the people know that.
I wanted to open it because the other one's not done yet, and I know it's gonna make Alyssa mad. 100%.
Yeah.
She gets real mad when I do that.
So yeah, it's cool to hear about Wonder Woman. And like, I didn't not like her in Batman v Superman.
I thought she was the second best part of that movie.
I think her theme music was
Not her
awful. Not her fault. And you know, was in the 15 minutes that we see her as Wonder Woman, that theme music probably pops up like 8 times, and it's like at like the third time it pops up, you're like, all right, this is just a fucking gag joke at this point. And so, but I thought she was cool. I don't think we saw enough of her to really like gauge whether or not she was going to be good as Wonder Woman. So it'll be cool to see her fit those boots
Yeah,
in this movie.
And I really like her as an actress. I think she looks great in the movie. Like,
Yeah,
she
I
looks
think
like
she
Wonder
looks
Woman
like
in my mind.
Yeah,
People, I love that. Like, people were like, "Oh, she doesn't look. She's too feminine." Is like one of the things that came up on, and I was like,
because people
that's
think
ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. And it's like,
She's in like amazing shape, and she's like she's in a super impressive human if you like
Yeah.
research her at all. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see it. I always go into those movies.
do
with,
we know
like,
who the villain is?
I don't know, some generic German probably.
Probably. I like.
It's a World War I movie, right?
It is a World War I movie, but also like it'd be interesting to see if they bring in any of like the mystical villains that she's like had in like her backlog of like comics and stuff. It'll be interesting to see if like one of the German guys is secretly like Ares or something, you know. Like it'll be interesting to see. Ares is on my mind because I just played the first Injustice, and God, Injustice is so fucking dope. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see if like they go into that direction at all, or if it is, because I feel like if it's just like regular German dudes, it's like, oh, she's just gonna fucking wreck shop for the entire movie.
Yeah, I mean that's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm pretty excited for it. I'm definitely gonna go see it.
Yeah, we're like, yeah,
We
we're
already
gonna
have
go
tickets for
yeah.
it, but all right.
That'll be fun. Next thing that happened this week, South Park got like a new trailer and
I didn't see the trailer.
and an official like sort of re-release date sort of thing, because it was originally supposed to come out like in March originally or something.
Yeah, it got
and
delayed
then
with no
and then
date.
they're like, indefinite delay, and then they came out with this new trailer, showed just like a little bit of more gameplay, and it's and sort of like cutscenes and stuff, and it's gonna be another South Park game. It's probably gonna be fucking really funny and really solid, like a really solid turn-based RPG. And so the official date right now is October 17th.
I thought it was 13th. Doesn't matter. It's
Yeah,
a 4-day difference.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great. I think that game would be one of my favorite games this year.
Yeah.
And my biggest problem with South Park 1 was I didn't have a problem with it.
No.
I actually thought that game was like...
It's too perfect.
I loved every single second I played of that game.
Yeah, it's so good.
I'm trying to think if I had any actual issues with it. No, it was great. It was just
the original South Park game was so fucking funny.
It was so great. That is
like
the hardest I've ever laughed playing a video game in my life. And then you go to Canada, and it's like the
Oh
Super
my God,
Nintendo
it's like the-
overworld. It's so fucking funny, man.
It's like they keep talking about like the enemies that they have in Canada. It's like they're obviously making fun of Game of Thrones. It's like
dire
make sure you avoid the dire wolves. They're like wolves, but dire.
everything about that game was so great. And then the first trailer, like, oh my God, I got me so hyped because it was like
Totally just hourly like making fun of superhero shit.
but it was great because it started as the Game of Thrones thing again, and then like I think it was Kenny is like shows up in a superhero outfit,
Yeah.
and then Cartman's like, are we playing?
Are we doing
Everybody
superheroes?
go home. We're doing superheroes now. Get changed. We're doing superheroes
Yeah,
now.
that's fucking cool.
And it's like the way they do that is so it's so great.
Yeah. I remember like the moment, like there were several moments throughout the first game where I was like, fuck, this game is awesome. Where it's like, when you get like, abducted by the aliens and then like the scene where like you're tiny and you're battling enemies under your parents having sex. There's the
David Hasselhoff thing.
Yeah, the David Hasselhoff thing, and then like the fucking Khloe Kardashian's like abortion is like the boss of one of the levels, and it's like there's so many moments I was like, this is so fucked up but so funny, and it was like a good like mechanically speaking, like a good game,
Yeah, it wasn't like it
wasn't
didn't
super
do
deep or
anything new.
yeah.
But you weren't there for the combat.
Yeah,
you were
you were
there to
there
like
for
get
the
to
jokes.
the next, and that was like a whole season of the show.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, like, sort of like reading about that game, one of the hardest parts that they had was designing the map of South Park, because in the 20-year history of the show, they'd never actually had a map of the show.
Interesting.
You just go from location to location of the show. There doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to make sense.
Yeah, exactly.
And then all of a sudden, they were like, "Fuck, we
gotta,
need to
like,
figure out where
actually
people.
design.
We need to figure out who lives next to each other."
Yeah, that's interesting.
So
huh.
yeah, that was one of the interesting parts that I thought. They were like, "Oh, where is City Walk in relation to Kenny's house?
Yeah.
In relation to Shittipaw or the Shittipaw to town?"
Yeah.
It's so good. Also, I like how in the trailer they were like super meta about it, and they were like, he's like, "We will not settle for anything less than a 9.0 at GameSpot."
Yeah, that was the original
The
trailer.
original
Yeah, fuck,
trailer.
yeah.
It was so funny. He's like, "Did you hear that? We didn't have deep enough combat." It's so funny.
And then what was it? In the new trailer, they're like, it's like how they showed it. It's like there's some vigilante like farting on people, because that's like what your character is like known for having these
he's
crazy.
a fart bender.
Yeah, he's a fart bender basically, and there's a vigilante out there like farting on people, and some like guy that they're interviewing on TV is like, how far does it go? It's like, how many seasons until Daredevil becomes the Punisher? 3 seasons? Okay. Like they're gonna get super meta with the superhero stuff, which is totally like geared towards us. It's like, I liked Game of Thrones, and like not all of the humor in the first one was just Game of Thrones, but it was like sort of like their whole like medieval thing was definitely based around that. But I think like their whole joke that they're basing around superheroes, it's totally just, it's gonna be a fucking fun ride for us, man.
Yeah, it is. And Matt and Trey are involved in it heavily, and they're writing a lot of the game from what I've heard, and that's just that's who you want doing it.
Yep.
And it really is like getting. I think South Park is great, and the seasons are too short now. The seasons are only like 12 episodes, and that really sucks. But this is like a whole season of the show in one shot.
Yeah, and I'm really excited. Like people were like thinking about like why they delayed it, and I think from my understanding of like how they write just normal episodes, like it's all like they do an entire episode like the week before the episode comes out. Like there's an intro, like there's a really cool documentary
6
about
Days to Air.
Yeah, and it's so like it used to be on Netflix. I don't know if it's on there anymore, but it's fascinating. And so they like to keep up to date with like jokes and like what's relevant, and that's really hard to do for a video game. And so I feel like probably what happened was like they're like, we got to change a lot of this shit so we can make sure that jokes that we think are still funny now will still be funny like months later on. Yeah, exactly. So
and that must be really hard.
Yeah, it is. And it's like people were like, I was listening to somebody and they're saying like, oh, it's not a big surprise that this got delayed because the first one got delayed. It was like the first one got delayed because of the whole Activision or no THQ thing where it's like,
it got delayed a couple of times.
Yeah,
It's also a really hard game to make visually.
Yeah,
because it looks just like the show.
It's literally just the show. Yeah,
and it's people like to knock that like that would be easy.
No,
but it's really hard.
Yeah,
and I mean you really cannot tell that it is not an episode of the show. Like my dad walked by when I was playing.
He's like, "Oh, you watching South Park?"
Yeah, and my dad's a huge South Park fan.
Yeah,
and my dad was like, "Oh, I've never seen this episode." And I was like,
"No, this is a
game."
game.
No, you haven't. It's a game, and it's funnier than any episode of South Park you'll ever see in your entire life because it's M from. You can just do it. You can do whatever they want.
Yeah,
and like,
exactly. And yeah, but like the first one went through all that like THQ bullshit, and then Ubisoft saved it and all that stuff. So, but anyway, I'm really excited.
Yeah,
I'm really damn excited.
I'm really excited for your Destiny 2.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Destiny 2 was announced a while ago.
Yeah, a while ago. We got that reveal trailer and all that stuff, but we finally got to see gameplay.
Yeah.
You finally got to. I didn't watch anything.
Man, I'm torn.
You're torn.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of stuff I did not.
Ooh.
Like, I'm very upset about.
Okay. Walk me through it, because from what I got from the sense on Twitter, it was everybody was psyched about everything that was being talked about.
Yeah. But then
do you need a shot of Kraken rum?
I'm pretty upset. So there's a lot of things about Destiny that I love. I love the lore, I love the guns, I love all that stuff.
Yeah.
But my biggest problem with it is that the game runs at 30 frames per second. And for anybody who I get shit.
Are they not doing 60 for this one?
No.
Oh, wait.
From everything that we've heard, this is a 30 frames per second game on console. It'll be unlocked on PC, so you can run it up to like 144.
Okay, that makes sense.
But even then, we've heard like rumblings that it might not run well that high.
Mm-hmm.
This is unexcusable.
Inexcusable.
That's what I meant. Inexcusable. Sorry, words are hard for me. This is inexcusable. This is a multiplayer shooter that is going to run at 30 frames per second
in 2017.
In
a world after Overwatch.
Completely mind-boggling. Yeah, Overwatch nailed it.
Yeah.
And like I never thought 60 frames a second was important until I started playing Halo and Overwatch.
Yeah.
Because both those games run at 60 frames per second.
Halo 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Run at 60 frames per second. And they run great. And so does Doom. So when you play games that are like buttery smooth like that,
yeah,
and then you go back to playing Destiny, it feels actually broken. Like the game feels broken. And I've had this conversation with Fred who agrees, and like
you've talked about it several times.
It feels like they're screen tearing.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's just your brain. My brain is used to registering 60 frames per second.
Yeah.
This is like disastrous for me. I'm so upset about this.
Yeah,
and
that sucks.
People are like, oh, you're overreacting, blah, blah, blah. I'm really not. But, okay. I mean, frame rate in a competitive first-person shooter, which is what they're aiming for, is huge. So it is definitely something. And we haven't gotten any word about cross-save from PC to console, which sucks for console and PC players.
Yeah.
There's other things that I'm upset about, too, but that's like the big one.
Okay.
We have a question that I'll answer later about how weapons, they've changed the way they're doing weapons.
Okay.
And that's a little worrisome for me too.
Okay.
But yeah. So as far as Destiny goes, it looks cool. They showed some of the cinematic stuff, but I am really worried about like the lack of frame rate issues. There's no dedicated servers.
Yeah, that was one that I heard. I was like, "Hey, you gotta get on that dedicated server game, fam."
Especially if it's a competitive shooter, who they're reining in the game. So instead of it being 6v6, it's 4v4.
Yeah,
which is great.
Yeah.
I think tactically it makes more sense. I also like smaller. I always like smaller games because that means that one person can affect the game more.
Yeah.
Because
it's like the whole Battlefield 1 thing where it's like we have 40v40. It's just like
I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, you're not doing anything. It's like it's fun. It's cool to have a battle that scale, but there's no like.
You don't feel like you're attributing to the game.
Yeah,
and that's what it was. It was like other Destiny games, you would go in with your 3 friends, and it would just be like, all right, we're just going to kill everybody, and there's this mayhem constantly, and you're like, oh, I guess we won. And I was like, I always prefer the smaller game modes because then it's like, oh, that kill mattered and that kill mattered and like me dying there fucking sucks and that mattered. That's the only game that it doesn't feel like that with 6v6 is Overwatch.
Okay.
Overwatch does a great job of making everybody feel like they're contributing all the time. Because they give you a kill if you do one goddamn damage to somebody.
Yep.
Which is stupid. I think Overwatch praises people a little bit too much. There is a balance.
No, I know.
But you're gonna play Destiny?
No.
You're not gonna play Destiny. You're not even gonna give it a shot.
No.
Why?
Because so I probably watched like 5 seconds of footage. Like someone broke out a GIF on Twitter or some shit. Like a couple of them. A couple of GIFs I saw on Twitter. It's like of gameplay and stuff. And I looked at it and I was like, looks like the first Destiny. First Destiny wasn't for me. And I understand like, you know, your argument, and I understand this argument. It's like, oh, you played it like the vanilla stage. There was way more like that they build off of and stuff. But I think like just the moment to moment gameplay stuff of just like, I don't know, it just doesn't appeal to me. You know, like I don't think the world doesn't look super appealing to me. I think just like the first person shooter thing and just how everything aesthetically looks isn't super my jam. And I don't know, like the whole, because like what kind of shooter would you classify that as? You know, it's like an
MMO.
It's like I've never really been into that with the whole like collecting gear and stuff. And weirdly enough, like I'm about to eat my own words here. It's like I've been getting that like a lot of that like into collecting gear and shit for Injustice 2.
Yeah,
but that's also because I like the gameplay of Injustice. Like I'm fucking love Injustice 2, so it's like sort of an excuse to play more of that game is to unlock all the shit, right? And so, but for like the moment to moment gameplay of like, because I think shooters are fine. I've never like fallen like head over heels over a shooter, so it's just like I just don't think like that whole shooter, first person shooter MMO sort of thing is just for me, you know. So it's just whatever.
For me, it's an excuse to hang out. It's like it's kind of what Overwatch has become recently, where Overwatch. I love Overwatch, but it's an excuse to hang out with Fred. Yeah. And just kind of talk to Fred. Yeah. And we play 12 hours of Overwatch a weekend at least. Probably more. Yeah. Definitely more. So we play 12 hours on Saturdays alone sometimes. So it's just an excuse to hang out with my friends. And Destiny is kind of like that too. Yeah. Destiny is like a social shooter. Is the way that I would classify Destiny. A social RPG shooter.
And I think there's the difference between like I don't really play games for the social aspects though. It's like I play games because I want to enjoy the game and stuff, you know. It's like I've never really like I like the whole like online aspect. Like I do like playing Mario Kart and stuff, but like that whole I don't know, like dedicating hours and hours and hours to be able to do that kind of stuff just doesn't really speak to me.
They're like reining that in a little bit. Like there's always going to be people like me who are going to take the game crazy seriously. But I know a ton of people who like it took them 4 months or 5 months to get through the raid the first time. Yeah. Because they were just like they would come in, they have their 3 friends or 5 friends that they're like good friends with in real life, and then when they would play when they could, and they would get their gear, and then they would fight the first boss of the raid, and it's fucking possibly difficult. Seriously, like I always say that one of the hardest things I've ever done in a video game is play the Vault of Glass. Okay. Because at the time there was nothing like that on console. Okay. Nothing that difficult. Yeah. Other than like, and like people were like, oh, well, Dark Souls is really hard. Yeah, it is. There are other hard games that exist. Yeah. The difficulty of playing the raid with no idea how to play it. Yeah. By the way, we didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah, like when that was first released, everybody was still trying to figure out how.
Insanely difficult. Because like no one knew how to think like that. Yep. No one knew that when you came in, you had to kill this certain amount of people, and then this certain amount of people, and then destroy these orbs as they come up in the right order. And if you don't destroy the orbs, your team wipes. And then after you go through these waves and waves of enemies and destroy these oracles in the right order, then you get a shield. And then you pick up the shield, and there's a middle part that cleanses you if you become infected. And then you fight the Templar. Okay. And the Templar is harder than any fucking boss I've ever played in a game before. Because if one person dies, you're fucked. Okay. Jose Otero, a good friend of us at work, always describes Destiny as 6 people spinning plates. And if one plate falls, you're fucked. Yeah. So I can't control how well you spin your plate. Yeah. I just kind of have to expect you to do your job. Yeah. And That's the other thing. So they've introduced clans in Destiny 2, which is pretty cool because they've done that's like.
Is that gonna help out with like more of like finding people to play with and stuff?
Exactly.
Okay.
So they're gonna be like almost like a free agent system where your clan can be open to free agents, and then you'll have 5 of your members on. You're like, oh, we need 1 for the raid, and we'll matchmake with other kid, and one person will come in, and you can leave feedback on the clans and stuff. And it's all in game. It's
really
it's
cool.
a UI that's built in the game.
So you don't have to do like go on the internet
Exactly.
and do all that shit or whatever. Okay.
Now, the reason that they're doing it like this is because people were like, oh, you should just have matchmaking for the raid. That would be a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
Because people don't understand how stressful that is. Like, I've straight up screamed at my friends, and I've been screamed at. Because it's just like, it's when everybody's doing their job right and then one person keeps dying, you're like, listen, Dave, I'm going to need you to...
Yeah, Dave, get your fucking shit together.
I'm gonna need you to stay alive on your totem, buddy.
Drink some crack and rum, Dave. Come on.
Not sponsored. Shout out to Dave, though. He's actually a real person and, and one of my clan members. And he's been great and helped me get through a lot of stuff. I almost killed him the first night we played the last raid in Destiny. But other than that, I was like... We just need everybody to do their goddamn jobs here. And then I died. And then everybody was like, come on, Sean. It's a stressful fucking situation, man. Yeah. But there's few things as fun as playing a raid. Going, it's like excitement. You grind all week so that you can be the first people in the raid. And like, you're not at the right level. You're like a level or 2. You're like, how much could a level or 2 make? And then you're just getting your shit stuffed in for fucking 3 hours until you get the right gear. Yeah. And, you're going in, all your friends are there, and you're trying to figure out how to do this crazy complex puzzle, and then somebody figures out something, and it's such a rewarding experience. And you have to do it the first week. Yeah. Because after that, people know how to do it. Yeah. People know like
the excitement is figuring out how.
Yeah. And then it's like, hey, I heard from this guy.
It's like playing The Witness now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, hey, I heard from this guy that if you stand here, it's like we could do it, and then you do that, and you're like, oh shit, it worked, and then everybody gets gear except for me, because of course. And then actually, the person who's the worst at that is Fred. Has the worst luck with the gear. I've played
poor Fred.
I've played a raid where 3 raids where Fred has gotten nothing. He's just like, I don't understand how this works. He doesn't get mad because Fred doesn't know how to get mad. Yeah. He just gets like.
He obviously never played Portal 2 and listened to Cave Johnson's Get Mad speech.
Yeah. He gets really disappointed. Like, this is just my luck.
That's even worse, It's like, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Yeah. Which is even worse than that. I'm not even disappointed. I just know what to expect from here on out.
There are a few times. The only time I've ever really heard Fred get upset was playing the raid. Like, it is such a stressful, where he's like calling. We'll be in party chat, and then I look down at my phone. And
he's like, also calling you.
Incoming call from Fred, and I'm like, okay. And I mute my mic, and I'm like, what? And he's like, if he dies one more time, I'm throwing my fucking controller out the window. I'm like, buddy, we're gonna need you to take it down a notch here. I'm the one.
I'm going to 11.
I'm the one that gets mad. We can't both get mad. It's my thing. But actually, great story about the raid, the Taken King raid is that Fred and I both called out sick, and he brought his PlayStation over to my house, and we played it with our monitors next to each other.
That's adorable.
Just like we always do. Yeah. We've done that for every game, and we still do it for Overwatch.
Nice.
So.
You guys are adorable.
Yeah, it is true. It's no Destiny for you.
No Destiny for me.
Are we seeing Pirates next weekend?
Maybe. I've been thinking about it.
Are you really not gonna? You're dressed as a fucking pirate right now, drinking crack.
I mean, I really hated 4. That's the thing. It's like I really liked the first 3 movies, but like 4 was bad. 4 was really bad.
It's about as good as 3.
No.
I think so.
No.
I think so.
So I don't know. I'm on and off. I'm on the fence right now of Pirates 5. If we see it, it'll be a fun time, but I'm not expecting anything great.
I'm going to see Baywatch on Friday. Because Baywatch is coming out, and it's an excuse to look at Zac Efron shirtless.
Yeah, that's true.
Can't
also, The Rock.
Yeah,
The Rock is
dashing. I see The Rock shirtless every day.
That's true. He's just always shirtless.
Yeah, I follow him on Instagram. It's impossible not to see The Rock shirtless.
But speaking of like grinding it, like loot and gear and all that stuff, it's like I've slowly been getting into that in Injustice 2, and like it's so it's really cool to be able to like customize your characters, like, and think about like, man, doubt like some other person has like the same customization because it's all random drops. There's a bunch of different shit that you're doing.
But isn't it like it doesn't matter when you play online?
There's
they disable advantages.
It's a certain mode. It's like ranked mode. If you do ranked mode online, it's like they turn on. Yeah, they disable.
I just wanted
shit.
to make sure.
Yeah, there's a couple of different modes online. There's ranked mode, which is like you just play people around your level, and then there is which like is fine, but it's also like that weird like, have you just been playing a lot? That which has increased your level, or are you actually like really good? You know?
Yeah.
Well,
that's the thing. That's the problem.
And that's all sort of like online shit. You know?
Well, that's something that Destiny and Overwatch do well is they have an elo system, which is taken from Counter-Strike, which is that's a true skill rating.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what
you
your
fail,
level
like
is.
your skill level goes down.
It's like a true skill rating, and because of that, I know that Destiny implements that because when I played 1,000 hours of Destiny, and then I quit. And then they put that system in. And I came back, and I was no ELO rating. And I played some of the worst kids I've ever played in video games before. God bless you for continuing to try. And I got something... So you ever play Halo?
Yeah.
So you know there's like Killing Spree, and then like Running Riot.
Dude, I played a shit ton of Halo back in the day.
They have that in Destiny.
Yeah.
But when you hit 35, you get something called... We ran out of medals. And I had a game where I got 2 we ran out of medals in a row.
Nice.
And I was like, something's wrong here, or I'm a god now. And then it quickly evened out.
Yeah, that's good.
So that's the problem with a lot of multiplayer games.
It's like it sort of just, you can just play a bunch of like single player, like just on your console, like whatever, not against people, and then get up to level 50 and then start playing a bunch of kids and get fucking wrecked.
Yeah, you get stomped.
Yeah. But I'm loving Injustice 2 like more than I already did from last week. But I'm getting more into the multiverse mode, which is like the single player where it's like timed events of like you need to complete this, and this within like 3 hours or whatever, and then it expires and all that stuff.
That sounds so stressful.
Oh, it's so fun. There's like some events that like I realistically know I'm not going to be able to complete, but it's still like because there's like different levels in each event. There's like, okay, you can do this level and the acceptable skill tree is like levels like 10, right? Like you have to be at a level 10 to realistically be able to beat this because they add modifiers and like different equipment for all the people that you're battling. So there will be some events I'll go into. It'll be like level 10 and then like the next sort of like tower that they have on that planet, it will be like level 30, and I'm like, I'm not fucking there yet. So it's like, but it's a good excuse to go into just those single levels in the event and like grind and like get more gear and be able to get like more in-game currency to unlock more mother boxes to get more gear and all that good stuff. I haven't played through, so I played through the story mode for work. I did like all the launch clips for IGN, and well, most of the launch clips for IGN, and then I want to play through the story again, but I gotta wait for Alyssa like looked up like the story of Injustice 1. She was like, oh, this sounds fucking cool. So she like I want to sit down with her and like play through the story so she can watch the story as well, because it's really cool. Again, like if you're not into fighting games, which is like, you know, like you're allowed to be into what you're allowed to be into or whatever, but like I think the story of Injustice is really dope. So like go pick it up because it's fucking awesome, you know?
Yeah, I watched a lot of it on YouTube. It's a pretty cool story. I wish that I was
beautiful.
Yeah, I wish I was into fighting games.
Yeah,
I don't
and that's the weird. Like I'm usually not into fighting games unless it's Marvel or DC related, you know? It's like it's just because it's superhero shit that I'm like all for it. I'm excited for because Alyssa has seen literally none of Injustice 2, so she doesn't know like the gap between like how good it looks, because she saw me play through Injustice 1. I was playing through the story of Injustice 1 last week, and it was like, it's crazy to think that that game was released 4 years ago, because it looks so old.
It's a 360 game though.
Yeah, it also is a 3, but then they like remastered it for the second, like the new generation, all that stuff. But it was like a late 360 game, and even for a late 360 game, it doesn't look great.
It's like running off a Mortal Kombat 10's engine or whatever. It just looks like shit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And so yeah, it's like such a great. But like, and that's why it's like so impressive. Like in 4 years, they were able to come up with like this fucking beautiful fucking game with beautiful cinematics, beautiful in-game fucking engine, and all that stuff. Shout out to the Collision thingamajig, the
collision engine.
The collision engine. Thank you. Shout out to
Shout
Brian
out to the
Cashing
thing
here.
that Brian made, whatever.
I couldn't think of the word
fucking
engine. Okay, I knew he worked on collision stuff. I just forgot the word engine. All right,
System.
Fuck.
System would have also been acceptable.
Okay, all right. I've been editing since noon yesterday, so my mind is all scrambled. Before we get into viewer questions, because we're about to get there. Before we get there, last thoughts on Destiny 2? Any last thoughts?
I don't know, man. As someone who loves that game very much, I will play Destiny 2. I will pick it up. I will buy it.
You don't know if you'll enjoy it.
No, I'll definitely enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's just, I just wanted it to be more.
Okay.
It's not, I think it's cool. I think they've got cool story stuff going on.
You think it's like more of a half step than a full step?
Yeah. And
Okay.
everybody's calling it Destiny 1.5.
Yeah.
And
It's a little fair assessment, or
I don't know.
it's too early to say, or
the limitations on the hardware are shocking. It's like if you had told me last week that we're going to get a Destiny 2 reveal and it's not going to be 60 frames per second and it's not going to have dedicated servers, I would have literally laughed at you. I'm like, get the fuck. There's no way Bungie fucks that up.
yeah.
Bungie fucked that up. And if it is true, if it's truly 30 frames per second, that's extremely disappointing.
Yeah. We'll see. Yeah,
And I guess I'm a nerd and I care about stuff like dedicated servers and 30 frames per second.
I mean, like, even as someone who barely plays multiplayer games, like, dedicated servers are the shit that you really need to focus on when you are releasing a multiplayer-centric video game. Like, I played enough fucking Overwatch to understand that shit.
Yeah,
You know?
and
And I only
Overwatch
played
has dedicated
Overwatch.
servers.
Yeah, I know. And it's like, I played Overwatch for a month and knew that, like, because the reason Overwatch ran so well with our very below average internet was because they had dedicated servers and shit.
yeah,
you
it
know?
feels great.
Yeah.
It's shocking.
Yeah.
I think the new raid's gonna be cool. I hope that they launch with more than one, or at least the second raid is like right around the corner.
Like a month later or something.
Yeah, because we're gonna get to the raid fast.
Yeah.
I mean the game won't launch with the raid. You'll play the whole game, and then a month later you'll get the raid.
Ugh.
Because that's how it always is. 'Cause
Yeah.
You won't be able to play the raid.
Yeah.
It's going to be such an absurdly high level that
Yeah.
you won't be able to do it in a month. I mean, some people will be able to do it in a month.
Yeah.
I imagine I will be able to do it in a month.
Okay.
Just from the way history. But I hope the next raid is right around the corner.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to wait 4 months to play the next raid.
Yeah,
I
sure.
will burn out. And then it's like, this game also, I don't know if they talked about Trials yet, but like, Trials has to be available pretty early on. Because that is why I play Destiny.
Okay.
Trials is the hyper competitive multiplayer.
Okay.
It's the
It's
one
like
where
the, like the
3v3. You have
okay,
to win
okay,
9 in a row. If you win 9 in a row, you get a special planet.
Yeah,
you get to
yeah.
get a special planet that has a special loot in it.
Okay.
You can only do it once a week per character. Every time you win, you get matched up against people who are also on that win streak.
Okay.
So 8-0 people play against people who are
8
8-0.
now. Jesus, that is intense.
Yeah. So that's when you get to the end.
I don't like that.
Some of the sweatiest gameplay I've ever had is like playing Trials, but maybe a kid who's like, you're trying to get him to the lighthouse, he doesn't really go often, and then you're like, you get to that last match and you know this is it, and the other team is also there, and it is so intense, and like winning that and going to the lighthouse is so
Rewarding.
yeah, it's like ecstasy. It's just like, it's so great, but losing
It's like the worst.
and like
man.
losing a close one.
Yeah.
You're like, we gotta start over. And like, there's like these special boons that you can buy that it's like, you get a free win, and then your first game that you win is worth 2, and then your first loss doesn't count. Those are the
okay.
3 boons that you can get.
Okay.
And you can only get a certain amount of coins to buy the boons per week. So if you don't do it on the first run, it gets infinitely harder if you don't have enough coins to buy the boons. So it's like, it's called a straight 9. To actually go undefeated and is a straight 9 with no boons is like insanely hard.
Okay.
A lot of people use the boons and get it. Also, when you go 9-0, if you keep playing, you will continuously play people that are 8-0 until you lose. And if you win like 10 matches in a row, you get a special symbol. There's like a lot of cool stuff in Destiny like that. But I hope, what I want in Destiny 2, I don't think they're going to do this, but it would be cool, is if you go 9-0 in Trials, you get filtered into a special bracket of people who've gone flawless, and you have to try to go 9-0 again, and you only match up with other people that have gone flawless.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be cool.
And then you get another reward if you could go 9-0 in like the winners or like the legends bracket. I think that would be fucking sick.
Okay. Destiny 2.
Don't at me. No, that would be at me. That's fine, Bungie. Take that idea. Take that idea.
I was going to say something. Oh, yeah. I've been editing a lot the last day.
Yeah, I've heard.
And that's because the final episode of Season 1 of The B-List is finally coming out this Saturday.
Is that the show that tells people why the bees are disappearing?
Yes. Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure I got it right.
The B-List, the season finale is coming out this Saturday, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on youtube.com/ZeroLife. It's a doozy. And I started editing yesterday at noon, edited straight for a good 13 hours, and then slept for 6 hours. And then finished the video this morning. I still got to go back to it tonight to add music and then do some like outro cards and shit. But besides that, which will be like 20 minutes, it's done.
And then Barrett will be sick tomorrow probably because he wonders why this happens. It's a weird circle where Barrett does things for 15 hours in a row and doesn't eat or drink.
Yep.
And then he's like, wow, it's so weird. I feel like shit today. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
What?
And then like we were doing this show, and then I'm gonna be on Dustin. Oh shit, what's his last name? Oh fuck, I feel awful right now.
Adventure mode, right?
Yes, his show. I'm gonna be on adventure mode right after this, so I'm doing a lot of work in the last day. I'm so sorry, Dustin, for forgetting.
I was on a show last week.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Yeah. You're on Putting in Work.
Yeah.
There you go.
Go watch that. It's on my Twitter.
Jono Pesh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Peck.
Pesh. I don't know. I always get confused by the CH.
I'm so bad with names. It's not. Yeah, I could spell it.
Yeah.
I'm so bad with names, dude. I didn't know Joshua Mobley's name until the 10th week you worked there. I was just like, hey, with the hair, get over here.
I have hair. But anyway,
let's get to some viewer questions.
Yeah.
I got stuff to do this today. I'm tired.
Yeah, you are tired.
I have to do laundry.
Yeah, you can go do some laundry, take a little nap.
I just farted and it smells bad.
Oh, man.
First
Anyway,
question.
if you want to be involved in the show, of course, every week we come to you for questions. So every week, usually Saturday or Sunday morning, you can tweet at us at Sean.
Sunday morning, rain is falling. Yeah. Do you not know that song?
No.
What? Maroon 5?
I'm not a huge Maroon 5 guy. We've had that conversation.
Fuck outta here.
So all of Saturday, Sunday morning, you can tweet at us at Sean Twisters, at Banana Sean, to have us talk about some things like Clint Gilmore at Clint_G, who asked, what are you guys hoping to see from E3? Also, how excited are you for Destiny 2? Well, we just talked about Destiny 2.
I'm moderately excited.
You're moderately excited.
I'll get more excited when it gets closer. I'm just butthurt about some of the
I just
technical
don't.
aspects.
I just don't. E3. What are you hoping to see at E3?
Bloodborne 2.
Bloodborne 2. Okay, that's a good
what
one.
I'm hoping to see.
Yeah.
I want to see more Spider-Man.
Yeah, I want to see more Spider-Man gameplay. I'm hoping to maybe see a release date for Spider-Man, not for this year, but 2018. I think would be a realistic date.
And Days Gone.
Days Gone. See, Days Gone is an interesting one because like the whole zombie trope sort of thing is like sort of getting old, but I also liked the sort of aspect, like the how big it was. Like people were saying like, oh, it's just The Last of Us, but it wasn't, because like you saw like at last year's E3 where they showed like the whole gameplay and how many fucking
massive.
Yeah, it was like massive. Like how many zombies were on screen at once. Like that was crazy impressive.
That's what was exciting for me.
Yeah, and so it'll be interesting. I don't know if I'm excited for that one yet, but if they do like some other cool thing that like gets me to pay attention even more, like
I'm excited to see more of it.
Yeah.
Those are my big three. Oh, and
God of War.
we're definitely going to see more Last of Us.
Oh, are you really?
I definitely think so. I think we'll see something with The Last of Us.
That's true. Like I think it'll be another very small teaser. I don't think we're gonna get a date anytime soon. I don't think we're gonna get gameplay anytime soon. I think it'll be another teaser cinematic thing, if that. You know.
I hope. I mean, like, it's been 6 months
since you looked at me.
No, what? So I think that we'll get something Destiny. I mean, Last of Us 2. I almost said Overwatch 2.
Jesus.
I could be wrong, but like
Yeah.
I don't know. I have this weird feeling that because the smart thing would be for that game to just go away. That's the smart thing,
Yeah.
and I don't think that's what they're gonna do. Especially if it's a weak E3 for them.
Yeah, we'll see. E3 for them last year was very strong, and we'll like. sort of this year it's all about like what are they going to have to show, and right now it's like, do they show just more of what they showed last year, or do they announce more stuff while ignoring dates and gameplay for the stuff that they showed last year? It's an interesting year to see how Sony falls last year.
And we're going to see Final Fantasy VII.
I don't think we will.
I think that comes out this year. The first episode. It's an episodic game.
I know it's an
They're
episodic.
cheating, and because they know that they can't make the whole game anytime soon.
I don't think we get. Okay. I think we will get another Final Fantasy VII trailer. I think the first episode gets dated for 2018. I don't think we see any Kingdom Hearts 3.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think we see any fucking Kingdom Hearts 3.
I think we see gameplay of Final Fantasy VII, though.
I think we see Kingdom Hearts 3 at this year's PSX. I think that's when we'll see Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But then also, just not just Sony related, Microsoft's, nothing excites me about Microsoft anymore, really. It'll be interesting to see, like, what Scorpio has to show, but again, like, I feel like we talked about this on the show before, where I don't think, because hardware is already so impressive now, like, looking at how beautiful Injustice is on my fucking PS4 Pro with 4K and stuff, but, like, that's not what excites the general, like, big audience anymore.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Specs
okay,
don't matter.
yeah, specs don't really matter anymore, because I feel like we're already
60 frames per second matters. Sorry.
yeah, that matters, but like I feel like we're already we've pushed the envelope already, you know? It's like what makes people excited is going to be good gameplay and making good and fun, creative new ways to play games now, you know? And I think the Scorpio is like, we'll see.
Yeah.
And with Microsoft's IP, it's like I stopped caring about Halo a very long time ago.
Is it Halo 6 here?
I don't know. When
might
did
be.
Halo 5 come out?
I don't remember. I feel like it's Halo 6 here. I think we'll probably see Halo. That's exciting.
That'll be exciting. I remember being excited when the Halo 5, or no, the Halo 4 teaser? What was the one where it was like when he was in like the desert and he's got the cloak
That's
on?
5.
That was the 5 teaser?
Yeah.
That teaser was so cool, and I don't think that made it into the game, which bums me out.
Yeah.
But going over to Nintendo, the other big of the number one of the big three, you know, Nintendo I think will start like announce officially how they're doing online stuff of like their whole paid online thing of being able to play online, which will suck because they're
It's
online.
so cheap, it doesn't
yeah,
matter.
it's whatever. Yeah, it'll be $20 a year. They already said, so whatever. But I think that'll also be the best opportunity for them to talk about virtual console and like talk about like, hey, we're gonna have a library of games of like for virtual console, and if you get like the $20 a year Nintendo online feature, like you get one free game a month and whatnot, you know.
Yeah,
and
it
so,
disappears after that month, so you can't keep it.
it's whatever.
We're Nintendo, and we do things halfway.
Yeah, and so. But we're like, have they officially said that that's how they're doing it?
No, but it makes sense.
Yeah, and so we'll see how that sort of rolls out and stuff, and I'm really excited how Nintendo will play out their online feature, and I think they really need to start talking about virtual console stuff, because, you know, it's like, yeah, they also need to talk about the big games, but I think, understandably, there's going to be time in between those games that they got to fill air, you know? And so I think the Switch is the perfect console to play Super Mario Brothers on. It's the perfect console to play N64 games on and whatnot. So I think they really need to focus on that angle, as well as talk about their plans for new IP as well. So...
Yeah.
Next question.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm starting to feel a little nauseous.
Andrew Taylor at Papa Drew Bear, who I think wants me to go onto his show private chat soon for Fit the Gamer.
Yeah, you should do that.
Yeah, I should do that. I miss you, Andrew. In relation to the new Alien movie, have you ever seen the original, and what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, the first Alien's great. The first two Aliens are cool.
I don't remember Aliens as much.
It's like a war movie.
Yeah, I think I saw it once when I was I saw both when I was really young, probably a little too young to be watching those movies. And I watched like Alien, the first one, a couple times since then, but I don't think I ever rewatched the second one.
Yeah, I mean, they're great movies.
Yeah, Alien 1's
They're
a classic.
way better than anything that's being made in this generation.
Yep.
I mean, as of Alien movies.
Oh, that's true. David Aaron at Dr. Dreidel 13 asks why pineapple on pizza is good. It can go with other things than Canadian bacon. That's true. That's a good point right there. Let me tell you about how great pineapple is on pizza.
If you want, yeah.
It is so good. And yeah, you're right. It can go with other things like banana peppers, pepperoni.
In a garbage can.
Other things.
I have absolutely no patience for pineapple on pizza. It's a ridiculous
It's
argument.
so good. Pineapple on
No, it's
pizza is bae. It is bae, and no one will ever to be able to talk me down from pineapple on pizza being bae.
That's fine. You think Pirates of the Caribbean 3 is a good movie?
Caesar Palafox at Caesar Palafox asks, apart from Batman, Spider-Man, and the Avengers game, what would your ideal superhero game be? Protagonist, story, gameplay, developer, etc. What are you thinking here? What kind of game?
I missed this question, so I have nothing for this.
You have nothing for this? Okay, okay. I would... This is an interesting one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it would be cool to have a Moon Knight game, just because I don't think Moon Knight gets a lot of love. So, again, like I think the whole like aspect of seeing through the eyes of a superhero who has multiple personality disorder is like sort of an interesting idea, and it would be interesting to see like how that would play into the story and the gameplay. As far as developer, I don't know.
I know mine.
No, what do you got here for me, Sean Pitts?
There's a PlayStation 2 game, The Punisher. Remake it. It's perfect. It's perfect.
Okay, all right.
It is an absolute masterpiece.
If you say so.
Seriously, one of the coolest games I've ever played.
Okay, all right.
It's a shame that game has somehow been forgotten about.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tweet about it after I get out of this. Actually,
also Deadpool, a good Deadpool game, like the Deadpool game that came out a couple years ago. I played through it, and when I was playing through it, I was like, "This is fine. It's funny, but the gameplay is like not great. It's forgettable." And then like the final boss is like the most infuriating thing I've ever experienced in playing a video game, because you have to beat that boss 50 times, and it's like over and over and over again. It's like fucking
actually 50 times.
Yeah, because like you beat him once, and then you beat him a second time, and then 48 copies of him you have to fight all at once, and it's like, what the fuck? What just happened here?
Yeah, a Deadpool game made in the style of Devil May Cry would be awesome.
Ooh, you're getting creative here. I like it.
That's my whole job here.
Creative juices up in here with getting your creative juice from Crystal Geyser sparkling water.
Yeah,
not sponsored.
Hashtag.
Sly at SlyClone MC asked, favorite piece of live theater or music you've ever seen, play, ballet, orchestra, whatever. I know what your answer is.
What?
Chance the Rapper.
Oh yeah, we're talking about concerts.
Well, like favorite piece of live theater or music you've seen.
Chance. My last Chance the Rapper concert was one of the greatest experiences of my life.
I went to the Shakespeare Festival up in Ashland, Oregon, a couple of years ago, and I saw The Taming of the Shrew. And The Taming of the Shrew is like considered one of Shakespeare's like sort of worser plays. It's the play that's that they based off or that they 10 Things I Hate About You is based off of it and stuff. It's people consider it widely sexist and all this stuff, but this version of Taming of the Shrew was really cool because of how they interpret the ending, where it's less about like sexism and putting women in her place, and like the woman secretly learning how like to still like fucking be a badass bitch, but also like pretend to be like, oh yeah, I totally like you and stuff, but like also like on the back end be like, I control you, I'm the one who fucking controls you now. It was really cool, but also it was like in a rockabilly like era and stuff. It was like on like basically like a beach boardwalk sort of shit and stuff, and it was really fun and really stylish. I also saw King Lear there, and that was in a black box theater, which is basically like an arena, but it's really small. And basically the theater itself probably isn't bigger than like this apartment, and it's like really close. And we saw King Lear, and that, like, if you know the story, it's like really gruesome and fucked up, and it was really hard to watch a lot of that stuff like up close live. Like there's a scene where a character gets his eyes pulled out, and they do that on stage, and it's fucking crazy.
I would not. Who would audition for that part?
I don't know, man.
Why would you want to get your eyes pulled out?
Well, it wasn't his actual eyes. It was just like a grape.
Okay, just making sure.
It was like a grape. It really looked like his eyes. And then, like, I don't know if this was on purpose or accident, but whatever the prop of the eye was probably a grape. Like, the guy who pulled it out stepped on it, and like, I don't know if it was on accident or on purpose, but either way he owned it, and it like made it so much worse and so much more disgusting. And I love theater. I love all theater. Sly also asks, is there any indie film or documentary that blew you away?
I could write a book on all the documentaries I've watched. I love all the 30 for 30s. They're unfucking believable.
Yeah.
A really good one is Jared Leto's documentary called Artifact, about him making his second album with 30 Seconds to Mars, and how it's just amazing about how badly he's been fucked by the radio or the music industry.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm an Oscar-winning actor, and I sold 5 million albums in my last album, and I'm $180,000 in debt.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And it just breaks down like how he like played piano on Instagram and then put a video up, and then his music label was like, you have to take that down. We own your ability to make music.
Jesus.
And he was like,
sucks.
you own my ability to make music. And they were like, yeah, we will sue you. And it's
That's
actually
ridiculous.
why his album is called This Is War.
Speaking of music documentaries, I really like it's like an MTV documentary, because I can't think of anything else right now. Blink-182 making their self-titled album. It was fascinating, because they basically rented out an entire house to make music in, and so it's really cool. It's their best album, so it's like sort of fascinating to see like where they came, like what they were like going into the studio, and like how they were leaving the studio, and like knowing that soon after that they broke up for the first time. So yeah, I like that one. Ted Stinney 2 at Teddy Chinaris asks, what are your thoughts on the major PvP changes for Destiny 2, like power ammo being for all one-shot weapons and all the new HUD changes?
HUD changes are cool. I don't like the power weapon stuff, and I also don't like the fact that only one person gets it when they pick it up instead of the whole team. I understand why they're doing it. They're doing that to change the fact that everybody would just snipe in every game or use shotguns. So I get it. It just kind of sucks. I'm sure I'll get over it.
And the last question we have for the week is, I don't know, because I screen capped it and I totally left out the person's fucking bio and shit.
Jesus Christ.
But they wanted us to talk about Indiana Jones in any sense. Whoever asked this rewatched Raiders the other night. It's such a classic. I haven't watched Indiana Jones in a very long time.
I love those movies. All three of them are great.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure you don't want to watch Temple of Doom again and be like,
No, I've seen Temple of Doom.
Oh, man. Temple of Doom's a doozy, but it's not as much of a doozy as fucking 4.
I don't even acknowledge the fact that 4 exists. I said all 3 of them are great for a reason.
Just South Park, speaking of, like, just because we were talking about South Park earlier, just like that episode is so fucking funny, man. All
right.
I love Indies 1 and 3. It's really cool.
I like Temple of Doom. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry I've cut the show short. I really all of a sudden don't feel good.
No, yeah. That makes sense.
So make sure you guys tune in next week. Like us, subscribe, share. Go on iTunes, give us a review. It helps us out.
Yep.
Follow me on Twitter. I'm at Sean Twisters. Follow him on Twitter. He's Banandler Chung.
Make sure to check out Sean's episode of Put It In Work if you haven't already on Jonah Pesh's podcast.
Yep.
I'll be on Dustin. I'm going to take a crack at it. I think his last name's Hoffman. Nope. Furman, damn it. His podcast, Adventure Mode, which I'm really excited. I don't know when his scheduling of episodes go out, so does it look like I have like a middle eye that I'm covering? I like that. I don't know when his schedule of Adventure Mode goes up, so next time Adventure Mode goes up, I think that'll be my episode. So check that out. Also, the new episode of the B-List, the final episode for Season 1 will be up this Saturday. 12
And
p.m.
watch out. It's rated R.
Arrgh.
Hit the music.